Party people, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are working on day 4, and day 4 is the Christmas tree story, which is why there's so much on my desk. Now, I did make this for Allie's products play. I taught for products play and for the prep day, and so they get mixed up in my head all the time. But I made this for Allie's products play. So if you're curious at all about this page, I made this for the transparency lesson. You can go watch that to see how I put that together. I did some ink blending, some emboss resist, some die cutting. There's a lot of stuff going on. So head on over there if you want to see how this came together. But I saw something that Lisa Varshine did. She's Freckle Pickle on Instagram, where she printed some photos of her kids in a tree shape. And I was like, I can do that. The truth of the matter is I cannot do that. I wasted so much photo paper trying to figure out how to do this. But I have this picture of Joshua and I setting up our tree that I masked in a tree shape. And all I did was I went on the Google, like I literally went online, and I looked for Christmas tree silhouettes, and I picked one that I thought I could fussy cut. So I didn't want to pick one that was too complex. I picked one that I thought I could fussy cut, and also that you would still see enough of the picture in. So I took some pictures of Joshua and I putting up the tree, and this was my favorite one because it was one that we were both in the shot enough that if I put it in a Christmas tree, you could still see it. And then I have this picture of our little chipped penguin friend on the tree, and then I have another picture on the back of just the tree lit by the bookshelf where it's going to hang out in our living room. So those are my photos. And then Minerva has already taken up residence under the Christmas tree. So I just have a picture of her. And she's going to hang out right behind this little window because she's super cute. So she's going to hang out there. She's just chilling on my tree skirt, being a menace. We actually had to put velcro on the tree skirt this year because last year, every day I woke up, they had moved my tree skirt and I was just done with them. So there's actually velcro on the tree skirt this year. Now, when I designed this page, it is a little bit more narrow than 6.75. And since I'm working on the back side of a page I've already made, I just have a piece of library green cardstock, which is this is the green cardstock I've been using pretty much on every page. So I'm just going to keep using it. Cardstock from Simon to make this a 6.75 wide page because I'm working on the back side of my page from yesterday. And then I have my journaling, which is an essay because I clearly have a lot to say this December. So I have my journaling that's an essay. So these are all the bits and pieces that I have. And now we're going to work on putting it together. So as far as the pictures go, I'm trying to decide if I want to punch the hole directly in the picture or if I want to put a piece of transparency between it and punch the holes in the transparency. And the reason I'm debating is because Joshua's head is right here. And I'm worried that if I punch holes in the picture directly, I'm going to be punching a hole right through his face. We'll have to see. We'll test it out. We'll test it out, see where it goes. If that works, we can test it out right now. Let's see. Oh, actually, it is okay. It's going through his ear, but I'm okay with that. All right, so I'm going to punch these holes. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to attach these together first, and then I'm going to punch the holes, and then I'll come back and we'll do the actual assembling bits and pieces because it's going to take me some time just to glue all these things together and fuss with them. I fussy cut these myself. They're not the greatest job, but finished is better than perfect for me. So I'm going to glue these together, punch the holes, and then we'll come back and we'll do some embellishing because I have the stamp set. Since I stamped here, I am going to stamp over here again. This is just going to continue to design. So I'm going to stamp the tree over here in the same colors that I did my ink blending in. So I have a few other plans for finishing this page. So I'm going to glue this stuff together, punch the holes, and then I'll be right back. So after I was working on this, I'm going to edit this video a little bit differently. So you'll see I'm going to leave in a lot of the footage of what I was doing here and then just put some like Christmas music on it and speed it up. Just so you can kind of see like what I was doing to actually assemble this layout. But see, there it spins out and there's Minnie just being an absolute ham and hanging out under the Christmas tree. And I chose to spell out the word for my day today. Now I added adhesive to the back of those chipboard letters. They came in the main kit. I've just found that they're not terribly sticky. So I like to just add some adhesive to the back of them so that I know that they're going to last. Now, if you're putting them in a pocket or something, they might be safer in the long run. But again, we rarely use pockets in these parts. So, all right. Now, my stamps are mangled because I embossed with them. So they're covered in embossing powder. I probably need to wash them. So that's the thing. If you find that your acrylic stamps are not sticking anymore, just give them a wash with just some like soap and water, and they'll behave again. Now I'm trying to figure out if I have enough space to stamp the tree. I think I do. I might just have to stamp the letters closer to each other. I'm going to do that like fun double stamping that everybody's been doing with these stamps this year. So I'm going to stamp it first in pine needles, and then I'm going to go back in and stamp it in bundled sage. And I actually want to get a bit of scrap paper. Is this wide enough? Okay, good. So we're just going to stamp them just going straight across. I'm going to go, I tend to stamp. Now, this is just a personal preference. But I tend to stamp, especially if I'm stamping like a title like this, I tend to stamp from right to left just because, actually I don't even know why I do it. I think it's because I'm concerned about things fitting. So I like to go from right to left so then I can make sure that things are going to fit. If I go from left to right, then I have no like insurance that things are going to fit. But if I go from right to left, I can kind of put my letters closer to each other. So I'm just going to stamp out the tree. I think I'm going to put the letters. I like how that looks. All right, so I'm just going to stamp out the tree. I have my super grungy stamp chamois. I need to just get a new one. Actually, I have two more. I need to just swap them out. But for some reason, I like holding on to things. So as evidenced by my super grungy microfiber towel that I have plenty of that I can swap out. But I'm just going to go ahead and stamp the tree. I'm going to test stamp each letter on my piece of scrap paper because the last time I used these, I was embossing, and I just want to make sure that I'm going to get good ink coverage. And we're just going to work across. Okay, so here is my stamping. I love how that double stamping came out. The fun thing about layering oxides is because they're pigment and dye, they sit on top of each other really interesting. So where the colors combine, they actually make a new color. Whereas with dye inks, they just kind of, dye and pigment inks do different things. And I find that layering pigment inks is really fun. So there we go. So that's what that would look like without the tree in between. It's just this really fun mixed media page with Minnie hanging out underneath and then the tree. But then we have these in between pages, which first of all, I love this picture so much. I think this is going to be a really fun spread when it's all like in the album. It's going to look really good. So I have these tree chipboard pieces from last year, and I was thinking about putting one right in between the and the tree. Actually, now that I'm doing it, I don't know if I like it. I'm not going to do that. Never mind. My plan was to put something there right between the and the tree. I don't think that giant tree chipboard piece is it, so we're going to go back to the drawing board on that. But I did want to put this gold acrylic piece that says magic. Also, one of these days I'm going to figure out how to stamp without getting my fingers in my ink pads. When I like ink up my acrylic stamp every single time, I just stick my fingers in my ink pad. I don't know why I do it. One of these days I'll figure out how to stop myself from doing it, but I do it every single time and it just always have inky fingers. All right, so I'm going to stick, but before I stick this down, I'm like all over the place because I want to put something in here. So it'd be easier for me to put the something in the middle of the page before I put that giant acrylic piece on the outside. So I have, these are all the, like, not all of them, but a lot of the little bits and pieces from this year. And what I was thinking about doing was putting one of these, like, wonky circles and then putting a star in here. So I'm looking for something that says something that makes me happy. So there's this one that says cozy. So I could go with that because it's the perfect color scheme for the rest of the page and just put that little star. So that could work. Today's Happiness could also work. And these are all the perfect colors. Or Good Cheer. But the Good Cheer has rose gold foil. So then I'm going with that cozy piece. I'm just going to stick that cozy piece down and then put that gold star right on top of it. So the reason I want to put a star is because I have that star brad over there, and that's why I'm putting gold across my pages. I like, especially if there's a metallic and there's room to repeat metallics, I like to just repeat metallics if there's space. So there's plenty of space to add embellishments. And now I can put down this magic piece because I've put down my embellishment on the inside. There we go. So that's going to sit right there. That's going to open up to the picture of Joshua and I sitting. That's my head, by the way. With the glare, you can't really see it, but that's the back of my head. And then I think I'm just going to leave this one bare. And I do want to figure out what I can put. Oh, you know what I do have, though? I have these metal stars. Maybe these are not stars, Tashiana. Those are hearts. These metal hearts. How did I do that? That was awful. I don't know how I did that. I have those metal hearts. I also have these felt embellishments. And I like that felt thing with the gold thread there. That's what I'm going to do with. I like that felt with the gold thread so much more than that tree chipboard piece. I think it was just too big. Now, I have been sticking down my felt pieces with glossy accents. I learned this yesterday. That glossy accents was my mixed media glue of choice. So I'm just going to pop a little bead of it. Pop that in right in the space between the and the tree. And here we go. That's this spread done. Now, I will say, assembling it, this video's been going for 28 minutes, and half of it was me yelling at my cat to get away from my Christmas tree. So assembling this did go very fast. I will say it took me some time in Photoshop to figure out how to put this together. Not because the page itself was any, complex, because I'm not used to working with, like I can do like hybrid stuff, but the getting the tree photo masked and then being able to do the flipping and everything else, that did take me some time. So it probably took me like 45 minutes in Photoshop, just figuring out how to do the photos, sizing the photos, setting up my journaling, everything else. So from start to finish, this page did take me an hour. I do know that that's not accessible for everybody in December. If I work on it daily, like I feel like I have, look, the cat is eating my tree skirt. Literally, as I'm recording this video, the cat is eating my tree skirt. So pray for me, you guys, and pray for my Christmas tree. So I do know that hour-long pages like this aren't accessible, but for every hour-long page that I have, the other pages tend to be pretty simple. So and the Christmas tree story is a big deal, which is why I gave myself plenty of room to like do something fun. So I'm going to read my journaling to you guys, and then that's it for this process. So I wrote a letter to my tree. Obviously. So I wrote, Dear 7.5-foot Virginia pine, you, like my joy and my heart, are just a tad too big for the space we want you to inhabit. 56 inches wide at your base and just a foot shy of the ceiling. You are nothing like your little sisters before you. After 2 Christmases with a more petite version, I will never be taller than my Christmas tree again. It's practically sacrilege. And the cost of transport prohibiting us from attaining a real tree this year, I found you while searching the internet in hopes of purchasing something tall and lush but not too expensive, something that will fit into the remaining corner of the living space, something that would inspire and cast the Christmas spell. As soon as we arrived home, and there you were, the very last one left at our Target. And Joshua took the Uber there and back and came back home with a 5-foot box, and we set a date to take you out of that box, and here you are. It was an experience decorating a tree that has a foot on me, a new joy standing on my very tiptoes to place melody at the top of the tree, a novel delight passing the strands of lights around your wide base and laughing over how very large you are and how unprepared we were. We chose the most perfect spot for you to rest while you stay for the season. A corner near our bookshelves where I can see you from my desk and Joshua can see you from the gaming chairs, and we can take a peek from the oven at the far end of the kitchen, and Minerva has already set up shop right at your base. There's velcro on the tree skirt this year because we are not having what happened last year happen again. And even though you jut out the tiniest bit and it's a bit awkward navigating the transition from living room to kitchen, I regret nothing. It took 500 bulbs and more baubles and bits than I can count until you felt complete. Our new penguin is front and center, and she's just the most darling thing. And I wrestled with the idea of adding ribbon before I relegated it back to Pinterest where it belongs, and it finally feels like December here. One of these days, we will have a larger living space and there will be mantles and side tables to decorate. But for now, our little Christmas corner, complete with green stockings, my little ceramic house, and the scarved birds Joshua gave me my first Christmas away from home is enough. Thank you for showing up right on time and for casting just the right amount of light. So that's my story about the Christmas tree. I don't know if you heard the bells, but Joshua and I made the mistake of putting ornaments that have bells on them. And now Astoria has decided that they are her true toy, and they are trying to escape with my tree skirt as I film this. Thankfully, we put Velcro on the tree skirt this year. So crossing my fingers that it stays intact and that they don't try to put down my tree. But, honestly, with these monsters, anything can happen. So I hope you enjoyed today's process and it inspired you. I hope you learned something. Please leave me a comment and let me know what you think and what you think of the album so far. I'm having the most fun working in 2020. So like, comment, and subscribe if you're so inclined. And I will see you tomorrow for day 5, where we are documenting gratitude. And I am just so excited. So next time, keep it crafty and have the very best day. And I'll see you around. Bye for now.